Amazing audience, we are live in San Francisco again, where it's now warm. It's not as cold as it was up on that hill in Lafayette Park. Oh my gosh, this morning was cold, Delia.
It's cold in the morning where I am.
Oh.
That's why I wore a heavy coat.
It does look heavy. It does look heavy. Well, amazing audience, we are live with Delia Athey. My apologies, Delia Athey. It's good to meet you. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
So tell me, the last time we spoke about cakes. You brought no cakes with you though.
No, I had scheduling issues. Otherwise, I would have brought cake.
And the cake story we spoke about was very interesting because you've baked for almost 40 years when we spoke, right?
Now it's more than 40. I was actually trying to schedule a 40th anniversary party.
Wow.
That's what I was actually telling you about. I might not be able to do this or have problems because it was supposed to be this weekend.
Wow.
But it's not.
Yeah, I actually thought like we would have tasted this cake because it does have me wonder now, like how good are you, right?
I'll have to find out where you're going to be and ship something over there.
Yeah. I've never gotten a shipment of cake. That should be interesting.
Some things I can ship, some things I can't.
So
I wouldn't try to ship it to
cake.
Trinidad, that's for
It's
sure.
probably not a good idea. Probably like Georgia,
Probably not a hot place.
It'll melt. Yeah.
I did ship a frozen 6-inch cake, though, to somebody once.
It worked?
Yeah.
All right. So you are good at baking.
Yeah.
So we spoke about that, and we spoke about you being a financial advisor. We spoke about Tom Matson as well,
Yes.
right? He connected us. What's the update? What's going on in your world?
I switched companies 11 months ago, and so I'm not doing quite as much financial advising. I'm supporting a financial advisor, but I'm doing much better on the income side because I have
sounds good.
steady income.
Yeah.
So I still can do my own stuff, but I have a much better steady income.
What do you enjoy about financial advisory?
I enjoy figuring out a lot of the numbers,
Yeah.
making the numbers work, and some of it's just filling in forms and completing forms and getting things done and seeing progress made and talking to clients.
Sounds like fun.
So,
No, it doesn't.
no, it does. So, I mean, since
It sounds like-
when we spoke,
Right.
which was 2 Novembers ago,
Right.
I
This
got
is
to
November 2016, right?
Right.
Right.
So I got to meet somebody who had a problem with the form because they sent him the wrong form.
Right.
And I'm like, well, did you realize that you can do this and this and this when I got him the right form? And it took like 4 or 5 phone calls before he'd be willing to meet with me because his wife didn't want to meet with me.
Yeah.
And now she loves me. She's like so comfortable with me. She wants to have me come and speak to all of her friends.
Yeah.
And she just loves the fact that I've got a lot of integrity and I explain things well. I'm not pushy or anything like that. And so client has several different things that he bought for me, and I go over there and bring her cookies that have chickens drawn on them and talk to her about her chickens and her dog and all sorts of stuff. And so she, instead of being scared to death, she's like, I'm so comfortable with you. So
Yeah. Which is intriguing to me because the company that you were at before had a problem with you setting up your cake business, right?
yeah.
So is it the same with this company?
No, it's a lot freer with this one because they're an independent firm and they don't have as many restrictions.
No,
I still have to have the information out there,
Yeah.
but they don't have as much like super tight oversight, and they're not so worried about it. Plus, I'm not doing as much of the financial advising. I'm just doing supporting on being paid an hourly wage, and so there's fewer opportunities for there to be a conflict.
Understood. No, I
So-
had a wager with Amanda, right? And I'll put it to you, right? I bet that in 1 year you will not start your cake business.
You're saying that I won't?
That you won't.
I'm not planning to
Oh
because
my
it's so expensive.
gosh, oh, that was the thing. That was the thing. That was like, I bet you. I hope she starts it, right? But I'll tell her that she wouldn't start it, so
Well,
hopefully she
the
says that she
reason-
will start it.
If somebody were an angel investor and wanted to pay for the $30 an hour that it costs to be in a commercial kitchen,
Yeah.
that would be something. But I can't stand for a whole long time. So working all day long on my feet
Oh, so you wouldn't do that?
would be
anymore.
really so hard. I mean, at my home, I have a hardwood floor. I wouldn't have a hardwood floor in a commercial kitchen. It'd be cement and then those rubber pads with the holes in them.
Yeah.
And it's like I'd have to be on my feet almost all day long to get as much work done. And at home, I can go sit down and do all this stuff and take breaks and stuff. But in a commercial kitchen, where every single minute that you're paying for
Yeah.
is so
You wanna
expensive,
capitalize on
you
that.
have to capitalize it. And I need a lot of help I'd have to pay. And so it's just,
So you're not going to do that entrepreneur
That's
thing
not-
again. No, it's not
unless
a thing.
somebody was going to pay me a whole lot of time so I didn't have to worry about how much it costs,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. So, what is the lesson you would share with people then? People who have a dream to start something and they're procrastinating or they're allowing life to go by, then what would you share with them?
That's tough because part of me feels like I should have started a long time ago and maybe I would have been able to manage it, but counting the cost.
Yeah.
Because I was in business with somebody who didn't count the cost, and it cost me a whole lot because they didn't count the cost and they made a lot of mistakes that cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
So really do a lot of research and count the cost and say, okay, really what does it need to do, and have people poke holes in your ideas and do everything they can to
Yeah.
dissuade you. And if you still have a dream that you know, follow it. But so many people have dreams and then they end up getting so discouraged because they don't follow either it doesn't go well. But I think counting the cost and really understanding what it takes, because especially in the food business, it's
Yeah.
a really hard business.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I've been around America a bit, and food seems to be something that you almost have to be scientific about in terms of the cost, right? It has
Yeah.
to be something that you know down to the dime, to the cent, to the penny, right?
Yeah.
It seems so. Like, I've seen that. Do you have any regrets from then to now? Do you have any regrets?
From the last time we spoke, or just
Let's do the both.
I can't think of any particular. I wish, I hadn't gotten injured and things like that, but that's not something that you can necessarily control.
Yeah.
I think I like to have spent more time getting my life more organized, but other than that,
And from the time we spoke to now,
I think the main thing is being a better manager of my money.
okay,
So,
yeah. What are you most excited about?
what am I most excited about? That's hard to say.
When you heard that this guy from the Caribbean was coming to meet you, what did you think?
I was like, that's pretty daring to start with.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big adventure, but it's like that's somebody who is following their dreams.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why did you choose to support me? The first time and now the second time. The first time was what, this goal, and of course Tom did suggest it,
Yeah.
but you did follow through. And now, like, you've just taken your time to get over here to have a conversation with this guy you never met, right?
Partly because it was an opportunity to talk about what I do, and a practice to talk about what I do and talk about what I'm interested in, talk about my dreams, and also just to see what people are doing with their dreams. Because aside from the baking and aside from, well, in some ways not aside from the baking, I've had people who've seen my cakes on Facebook and Twitter and stuff who are really encouraging me to do videos of doing cakes and stuff. And so that is something I'm excited about, to take a half a step back.
There we go, we come back. Boom,
because
excitement identified.
Yes, because, I mean, I haven't actually starting tonight, I'm working on a pool table cake, 3-dimensional pool table cake. And so that's something that I can actually videotape different pieces of it. And then somebody that I met on Twitter is going to put them all together for me.
Love that.
So, so that's something I'm excited about, that maybe there's ways to monetize it in a way that's not actually selling the food.
Yeah.
That
That's a good
my
idea.
skills and stuff. And so that's one of the things that Tom was really, really pushing me on and stuff. And so having people do things in a virtual or thing where that doesn't have anything to do with making a product or anything, it's just selling your skills.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Even
So
you having to stand for hours, you could show 20 people what you did in 3 hours, and that's 60 hours.
Right.
Yeah, but that's something that they're willing to pay for in terms of your expertise over 40 odd years, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, for sure. I love that. Well, this has been a great pleasure. Where can people find out more about your cakes?
Facebook page Delia's, DELIA''S desserts.
We put that inside here then. We put the link inside there.
Right.
Yeah?
That's probably the main place to find about the cakes. That's the place I post the most frequently, and it's the easiest to post compared to editing the website, which is a kludgy website.
I like Facebook for that too. It's
So,
like, psh, post.
yeah, I mean, because I'll put them on my own Facebook page and just copy the text and just go over to Delia Desserts and add them there too.
Yeah, so they could follow you as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
So.
All right, well, in closing, do you have anything to share with our amazing audience?
Following your dreams is good.
Well, it brought me to you.
What?
It brought me to you.
Yeah.
It's definitely good. Amazing audience, this has been a great pleasure. Delia Athey. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute convos with Angel Jones. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
High five. Boom.
So do you have a timer to